Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you about the abomination of desolation. Jeffery Lee Owen, welcome to this edition of Satan's Strategic Command, dedicated to the advancement of Christian theology, explicating the mark of the beast. May God bless the reading of his holy word. Revelation chapter 17, verse 1 through 6. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great harlot that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So we've been discussing that Revelation chapter 17, verse 1 through 6 is the final seat of all lost souls in the kingdom of hell, arrayed in a graduating scale in accordance to their works and their proximity to the appearing of Antichrist. It's how they have been evaluated by Holy Father God, and they are manifestly declared to have the mark of the beast, and they are momentarily will be, the 7 last plagues will fall upon them, and then they will see the second advent of Jesus Christ. And of course, then we know judgment is rendered upon them at 2 Thessalonians 2:8 at the second advent of Jesus Christ. 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and then that wicked shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So we know they all go back into their graves for the 1,000 years, while the saints are in the holy city performing the final judgment for the 1,000 years of the millennium. That's explicated in Revelation chapter 20, verse 1 through 6. So Revelation chapter 17, 1 through 6 is the great apostate movement of fraudulent righteousness, of all those that willfully worshipped death, and it's a fraudulent movement that claims to bear the righteous standard of God, while the adherents thereof are actually worshiping death. They've been captivated with the spirit of Antichrist, and they're worshiping death. They've supplanted the glory of Jesus Christ for that of the image to the beast, and they are now manifestly declared by God to be captive to Satan, as they yielded their souls in service unto satanic power by way of the ministry of the image to the beast that solicited the worship of death, Revelation 14, 9 and 10, and poured out the spirit of Antichrist upon all flesh. So guys, we know that faith is the expectation of the manifestation of God's goodness and presence. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And guys, sorry, here go the sirens again. These are the people that have committed fraud with 140 of my lung x-rays. They're following me every day. I can't go anywhere in Dallas. Every time I start teaching theology, they start running their sirens on me. They've committed fraud with 140 of my lung x-rays. They're following me every day, yelling death threats at me. They're burning what I suspect is chemotherapy drugs into my car. I suspect my car's radioactive from being poisoned. Every time I try to start doing a theology lesson, they start running their sirens around me. All last year in 2019 and 2021, every single day. More than half a dozen times a day, fire trucks and ambulances and police officers were doing circles around me. They've committed fraud with 140 of my lung x-rays. They made me suffer with tuberculosis for 18 years. And they have been burning what I suspect is chemotherapy drugs and mercury on me to kill tuberculosis in my lungs, and which I have in my brain, my spine, my kidneys, and my intestines. And now they're sending crack whores to my car frequently, trying to get me screwing crack whores because I know that they're actually waiting at the hospital to inoculate me with HIV, and then they're planning on telling me that it's actually cancer that's what's making me so violently ill, because I won't last 2 weeks. If they give me, I'm so sick now, I won't last 2 weeks, and they know that, and they're planning on doing is claiming that I picked up HIV screwing crack crack prostitutes. And then when I go to the hospital, they're actually lying in wait, the people that committed fraud with 140 of my lung x-rays and made me suffer with tuberculosis for 19 years now, walking around with it, just breathing it on people everywhere I go. They're planning on claiming that the chemotherapy drugs that they prescribed me is what spread TB all over my body and did 30 years worth of damage to my body. So they don't want me teaching Christian theology. They're having fits over it. And so almost every time I'm doing videos now, they're either running their sirens or they're having people. Yesterday, I usually go over to another parking lot across the street, and they had a guy run up to my car because they're trying to run me out of the parking lot and threatened to do damage to my car if I didn't dial 911 for him. So, bad deal. They're following me everywhere I go, and they've actually been burning poisons on me and making me extremely dizzy to the point of blacking out while I'm teaching Christian theology. So this is my daily life, and so but I'm very good with Christian theology. God has revealed a lot to me, and that's why I upload these lessons for you guys. There's a murder conspiracy against me, and these people, these police officers, every single day they're yelling death threats at me. I mean, they have swarmed me like a pack of wolves, or it's the worst you can possibly imagine. I mean, like the Capitol riots that we just saw in Washington, D.C., I've got 5,000 of these people using hundreds of millions of dollars worth of law enforcement equipment, and they go everywhere I go and they tell people to yell death threats at me. They yell death threats at me every single day I walk into Planet Fitness. And so it's a very bad deal, and that's why they're doing the sirens, because they don't want anybody helping me, and they don't want me teaching Christian theology. They murdered a bunch of children back in 1993. In retaliation for Ruiz versus Estelle. I wrote a dozen affidavits with almost 500 medical I-60s that I tried to get medical treatment in the TDCJ from 1993 to 2002. They told Michael Blair to rape and murder a child in 1993, the Dallas law enforcement unions, and in conjunction with the Texas Guards unions, and then they tried to blame it on me. They put me in the prison system. They blew tuberculosis on me, and they tortured me with TB and what I suspect is chlamydia. And then they if I had died, they wanted to blame a bunch of child murders on me. So, and actually when Michael Blair murdered that first child, Daniel Rhodes, the police detective, had to file a $25 million lawsuits against the other police officers because they were threatening. They were threatening to kill his family members if he didn't leave open, because they wanted to blame it on me. Within a few moments, they were getting ready to start torturing me in the prison system, which they did for 9 years. And then when I got out, they committed fraud. I went 70 times to hospital visits. I ran up $350,000 in medical bills, and they're still everywhere I go. It's death threats everywhere I go. They yell death threats at me every single day because all my lung x-rays are fraud. I ran up 140 lung x-rays are all fraud, and so they're attacking me like a pack of wolves. So I'm gonna get up on here and I'm gonna teach theology every single day. Jeffery Lee Owen, we're gonna restart this. So the sirens are starting again. We're gonna restart this.